What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. So I'm gonna be showing y'all how I got this real cute snowflake winter look. But first I need y'all to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what other videos y'all want to see. So first thing I'm doing is I'm just going through, of course, like I mentioned in all my videos, with my crystal clear acrylic from Valentino, and I'm just doing a real thin layer on top of the natural nail bed. And this is just to help prevent the natural nail bed from getting stained from the pigments I'm going to be using, and just to create a barrier to maintain the strength of the nail bed. I always start my videos off with the tip and everything all prepped for acrylic application, and that's because I did make a video on how to prep for the acrylic application, which I always link in the description box below, as well as all the items I'm using. I link in the description box below. So if y'all have any other questions, just don't be scared to comment and let me know. Then I go in with this purple that I mixed two different colors from Valentino together. I don't remember the two numbers that they were, but it was like a real dark purple and then a real like pastel purple, and I just mixed them together with this and I made this, which is real cute. But anyways, usually with designs like this, I like to do all the fingers one design and then go through and encapsulate with the crystal clear. But with this design, I decided to just do one finger at a time. The pinky I actually waited till later, which you'll see, but you'll see me go through, you know, add the purple, whatever, the snowflakes and stuff, and then once I'm done that, then I'll go ahead and encapsulate that finger right then and there. This finger I'm doing ombre, which I recently posted a video of me doing. And basically you just add the color to the bottom, you know, kind of feather it upwards. And then the nude that you're putting on top, you just do a little bit at a time. You know, less is always more. And slowly work it downwards. And if you need more purple, go ahead, put more purple or whatever. But then you're going to see me add my snowflakes, and I'm just using my brush because the monomer on it lets these snowflakes sink in and, you know, attach to the nail. And once those are attached, then I just go through and will apply the layer of the crystal clear. And here are all my snowflakes that I'm using. I'm using like a purple and like a white iridescent AB look. But I will link these down in the description box below. As you saw, I just went ahead and added my snowflakes with my brush, and here I'm just encapsulating it with the crystal clear. And you basically want to treat the clear as if you're just doing a regular application, but since you do have more color underneath, you do want to make it thinner so the nail is not completely too thick. Here I'm doing a nude into clear ombre, and I'll put the snowflakes on top of the clear part. But especially with this, the saying less is more definitely is real, because you don't want to cover the whole clear nail. You know, you want to make sure that you're able to see that clearness. So you don't want too much nude. Then again, I'm just going ahead and encapsulating the nail. And another tip for this is you always want to keep the fingers facing downwards. Let gravity do its job, because once you apply that bead and it starts running downwards, you never want to force it downwards. You know, just let it kind of run, and it'll definitely let the application be much more smoother with less holes everywhere. Same design I did on the ring finger, the nude to the clear ombre. I'm doing the same thing here, but I'm mixing the snowflakes up a little bit, which you'll see. Here you actually see me remove one of the snowflakes, and that's just me messing around, you know, looking at what I think is going to look best on the nail bed. Sometimes I like to stop and use an orange wood stick and kind of just push all of the acrylic that has been built up into my brush. And you really want to do this with a very slight motion. You don't want to go too harsh because you'll ruin the bristles. But acrylic stuck in my brush also leads to, you know, messed up beads and messed up application. So you just want to make sure that that's all clean. And then I dipped it in and kind of wiped it back and forth on the napkin, which you saw. And then I just continue with my application. The thumb design that I'm doing is basically the same as the middle finger. I'm just doing the ombre, nude into purple, and then I'm going to apply some snowflakes and of course encapsulate it with the clear. You always want to make sure that your little cup is filled to the top with monomer, because you always want to make sure that your brush, when you dip it in, it gets completely filled with the monomer, because if you don't have enough liquid, it can mess up the bead, which will mess up the application, and it's just going to be all wrong. Okay, it's going to be bumpy, trust me from experience. Okay, but that's basically what I just did, and you always want to make sure that you keep that filled. Another thing about application is you always, once you get to the cuticle, you don't want to place the bead right at the cuticle. Like you saw me place it a little bit below the cuticle. You just want to make sure it's not too close, and then you kind of feed it up to the cuticle, because you don't want a big bulk right there. You know, you want to make it seem as if it's actually coming out in, you know, the natural nail bed. Then I'm just finishing the pinky up by encapsulating that with the clear. And I'll just go on to the other finger and the other hand. In the other hand, I'm basically just doing the same exact designs on the same fingers. But I am going to mix up the snowflakes a little bit, of course. And you'll just see me do everything. Next, I take my nail file, and like I always mention, you always want to keep the nail file at a 90-degree angle when filing, okay? You want to keep it as straight as possible, whether you're doing tapered square, coffin, stiletto, whatever it is. Keep it up against that side wall as much as you can. And one tip I'll give is, if you think something is wrong with the shape and you just can't figure it out what it is, go ahead and file that bottom part, like, you know, the end, if you're doing coffin or tapered square, and then see what you have to do with the shape, because sometimes I feel like that bottom part can just pull the shape together like 10 times better, make it look so much better. Here I'm just filing on top of the nail, and I like to do this just to make sure there's, you know, everything is all even, there's no bumps or anything. But I don't get too close to the cuticle area, because sometimes I feel like I'm too rough with the hand file, so I like to save that cuticle area for the e-file, which you'll see later on, and I'll explain a little bit more. Like I mentioned earlier, I then take my e-file and my drill, and e-file, everything is down in the description box below. But I like to just go over the cuticle area because this file does take down a lot of the acrylic, and like I did mention earlier, you want that cuticle area to be very flush, you know, make it seem as if it's actually coming out of that cuticle area, you know. And I also just like to go through right on top of everything and file that, because sometimes I feel like the hand file can leave a whole bunch of scratches. So I like to just go over everything because the e-file can take off all of those scratches as well as any bumps. So I like to, you'll see me look at the side a lot. I like to just make sure that there's no bumps or anything, and if there is, I just file those and make it all even. Here you also see me filing underneath, and sometimes I like to do this when I feel like I made the nails too thick. That's just to even out that tip and give it a little bit more shape, you know, making that line a lot more straighter. Then I go ahead and buff all the nails, and my phone cut off, so I didn't get all of that in there. But my client then goes and washes her hands after, and then I'll go ahead and apply this base coat from OPI. It's a regular polish, but I always like to keep a base coat on because sometimes I feel like the acrylic gel top coat can peel off if it's directly on top of the acrylic, so I always like to have a base in between the two. For the pinky, I'm going to apply my chrome, which I have right there sitting down. It's an opal chrome that I picked up from my local nail supply. And to apply it, I first apply my Nail Couture gel top coat, which I'll link the description in the box below or whatever, you know. And then I put the pinky in the lamp for 5 seconds. Not too long because you still want the top coat to be tacky. And then I just get a little bit on my finger and rub it on. I don't use any other thing. I feel like my finger works perfectly fine, so I just use that. But you want to make sure you have a decent amount on your finger. Like, you don't want too much because For this, I wanted to make sure that you could see the purple underneath. You don't want it to, I didn't want it to be too opal. So, you know, you just want to apply a little bit of chrome in order to get that look. Also, the top coat that I'm using, the Nail Couture top coat with this, I found to be, like, it works amazing with, like, any chrome. You know, I've used other top coats with my chrome that I'm using now, and it just came out so tacky, so messed up. But this top coat is amazing with any chrome. Once the two pinkies are finished, I go in with my gel non-wipe top coat from Valentino. The Nail Couture top coat is non-wipe as well, but I'm just going in with this one because it gives more of a shine. Like, I really like this top coat, and I don't know why, but the fingers are just not in the camera. Y'all, I be trying, okay? But anyways, I just go through, and I like to wipe the sides because sometimes I feel like gel can mess up the shaping. So I just make sure the shape is still good, and then I'll cure the fingers for 60 seconds in my lamp. Then you already know, of course, I gotta go on my cuticle oil and rub the oil into the cuticles. And this set is all finished. This set is super cute for the winter time. I love these snowflakes, and I got them from Amazon, okay? And this purple I created is super pretty. It's like right in the middle, perfect purple. And this is just real cute holiday nails. Thank you everybody for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what other videos y'all would like to see.